All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Talk It Up Tuesday. This is Michael Demond here on behalf of Be Well Magazines, here to bring you Talk It Up Tuesday and our special guests and our special topic. So, first thing, of course, we want to do is just make sure that all of you can hear me and you can see me. Show us some love in the comments. Go ahead and give this like a post, a share, and a like, and get some more people to join us here in the conversation so that we can make sure that we can get a few different perspectives on this. Today, our topic is going to be about MLM scam or success. And we want to talk a little bit about just our own personal journeys. We want to talk a little bit about, what we've experienced and what we've seen and what some of the topics are that people often talk about when it comes to MLMs and network marketing. So go ahead and give this a share. Let me see if we can show some love up on the screen here. I see some people saying, yes, we can hear you and we can see you. I see some tagging going on. Okay. Amani's out there in the studio. We're streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can watch in both places. Let's go ahead and I'm going to bring up our co-hosts. We got the two Ray girls today. We got the senior and the junior Ray girls today. We got two of them here in the house with us today on the studio. So let me go ahead and bring up Carmen and Amani so that we can get our show started. So hello. Can you hear me all right? Are you out there?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Thanks for welcoming the dynamic duo here.
I know. We got two of the three of y'all. All right, awesome. Thank you for tuning in and joining the show today. Today, we also are going to have a special guest, so just hang out. We're going to bring our special guest up. But as you know, Talking Up Tuesday is sponsored by Be Well Magazines. Every Tuesday, we go live to talk about different topics and different issues that are related to women and entrepreneurship, just personal development. We cover a lot of different things, but all of it is meant to really take people in the Be Well community to the next level in their personal life and in their business. So today we are specially treated because we have the founder of Be Well Magazines here with us, and she's going to introduce our guest. So I'm going to turn it over to Carmen to get us set up to do our discussion with our guest. So Carmen, you want to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. But before I introduce our special guest, I just want to give a shout out to our team and thank you so much. Michael DeMond from We Merge Media is just a cornerstone of everything and all that we do with Be Well a magazine. But recently, my daughter Imani Ray from Naturally, we have all collaborated on a project, and I don't want you guys to miss this. So go to our website, click on membership, and you'll see how you can also be included on this amazing journey. But today, let's get back to today. There's something amazing going on. You guys, if you are on my Facebook, you know I've been hashtagging we're building something. I'm building something. And this is an example of what it means to build something. So, our special guest, her name is Kimberly Caldwell, and that's Kimberly with a KY, not a KI, like my sister. Kimberly Caldwell is from that Charlotte, North Carolina area, and she's going to come up and just share with you not what it means to be successful, but to actually be intentional and crushing it around helping other people to understand and appreciate what we were not taught in school. We weren't taught residual income and leverage income. So sometimes we misunderstand the business model. So without further ado, let's bring to our virtual stage Kimberly Caldwell.
Hello. How are you beautiful ladies today?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, it's always my pleasure.
Wow. This is a really special time for us to have this conversation because, as we know, it's a lot happening in the atmosphere. Either people are really winning at a super high level or we're losing ground. We're losing ground. That plan A is just not adequate. There's a lot of head of households that have to have more than one stream of income. And so, Kimberly, one of the things that Michael and Imani have us talking about today, we're talking up Tuesday, is about this business model, MLM. We're going to take some of the mystery out of it today. What is it and what is it not? So you should share what is it that when you seen this opportunity, how did it make sense to you, and what made you take it by the horns and just run with it?
Wow. Well, I will tell you that I was really introduced to this industry in my 30s. And now I'm 52 and just super excited and proud to be in the industry of network marketing, multi-level marketing, relationship marketing. It has many names. At the end of the day, it is a very lucrative industry, and it boils down to word of mouth advertising. Yeah. And I'm just grateful to be aware of the industry. And I'm on a mission to help as many families as I can realize that it is real and it is not a scam.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that whole part, because it's like all of us throughout our lives have had different experiences, and we know our guests who are watching have had different experiences too. And when Imani and I were talking about doing this topic, we were really talking about how, like, I started as low as young as 18, kind of being exposed to network marketing industries, and I've been part of a whole lot of different businesses and business types, and it always was like a level of attraction to me. And sometimes people get caught up on what they hear with the big numbers, the dollar amounts, like everybody's motivated by something different. But for me, I just kind of at an early age loved the idea of you have the opportunity to achieve certain things. And for me, it wasn't a disconnect to know that I was going to have to put some work and effort into getting to that thing is. Right. But I don't understand how a lot of people seem to think that part doesn't kind of fit into the matrix. Right. So like, let's talk a little bit. I'm kind of curious from everybody here in the studio, like, were you ever one of those people who either were introduced to something and felt like, oh, they misled me and didn't tell me the truth and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be? Or do we kind of have that thing in common where we're able to kind of see through the thing and know that we're going to put some work into it? What were y'all experiences?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I think for me, because my mom has been in our particular network marketing company for 6 years. And originally I said no for 6 years, but there was a period where I was curious, like, okay, like halfway through her journey, I feel like I was like, what is this? What got her up at 6 a.m. on these calls? Like, what is it? And so I went to a presentation to learn. And there was the rings and the flashy and exciting things. But I've never been a materialistic person, so it was cool. But I was like, okay, I like, I want to hear more, but I still wasn't convinced then. And so I think at the time, it wasn't necessarily I was sold a dream or I was given this idea of something that it wasn't. But now that I'm completely in a different headspace and understanding of it, it's like I was crazy to think that joining the business equaled a ring or equaled or equaled a success story. You know what I'm saying? I'm really finding that the success is in the journey and you being able to build and leverage your own story to succeed in the business and utilize. I'm taking notes already from Miss Kimberly Caldwell. I love, she said, word of mouth advertising. And that's exactly what it is, being able to connect that with your individualized story and share the powerful impact that the company can have on your life if you allow it to, and really step into the opportunity that's being provided. And everything that I'm experiencing now, I think I wouldn't have been prepared for then. So I definitely also think that timing plays a huge role in it, and just that mindset shifts, because the younger version of me some years back was like completely confused and had no idea and misled myself, thinking that the shiny stuff was going to come quicker than the work that I was actually putting in.
That's good.
What I think is funny, Imani, that we have in common is that my parents introduced me to the industry as well. And at the time, you all, I was a stressed out medical office manager, not looking to add anything else to my plate. And they invited me to a meeting one night, and I met a lady who was earning $20,000 a month. And I was like, wait, what?
Right.
Whatever she's doing, I need to do that, because It takes me about 6 months to make 20.
Right.
I said, sign me up. So I didn't have any skepticism at all, you know. And so 5 years later, I watched that lady grow her income from $20,000 to $40,000, and she was a registered nurse. And so, you know, my parents being a doctor and a registered nurse as well, that were impressed by the industry, I was like, oh yes, I'm good. I'm doing this, no doubt about it. So
Yeah.
you know, fast forward, being introduced to this opportunity, I was like, oh, travel? Yes, it just makes sense.
Yes.
A wise woman once told me, you know, if you're going to use it, you should own it. And I was like,
Okay. Yes.
I love it.
Mike, talk a little bit about some of your earlier experiences and how they correlate with where you are now.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So like for where I am now, like right now I'm with the company that's in the travel industry. And I would say my first like corporate job actually was in a travel related company. It was on the side of the business that I never knew anything about. So I worked at a company that I did the wholesale side of the travel. What that means is that they contracted with the hotels, with the airlines, with the tour operators, and got everything at a low price. And then they would sell that service that they provide to travel agencies, who then sold the service to clients. So I was able to get like a whole different perspective on how money is generated in this industry. And, you know, at that time, you know, not really knowing the background, not really, you know, at that time, I didn't even know that there were such things as network marketing companies who had a travel element to them. That was the only way that I knew. I thought that was the way it was, or you just bought retail directly from the airlines and the hotels. So, like for me, when you know Carmen actually told me about this company, it wasn't a difficult thing for me to quite grasp and understand because I understand how the money is made in the industry. I know that travel agents get access to the inventory. It's no different than any other business. You have inventory that needs to be sold by someone, and then who sells it gets the money. So to me, it was like a very clear path, and it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. The other side of that is that you know when I left that company, I also went and started my own home-based travel agency, and was able to. I had to get like liability insurance. I had to like pay for all these other things as an independent agent. To operate in that way. But I was responsible for making my marketing materials. I was responsible for having a system in place to manage clients and all that. I had to build a website. So, like for me, this one was like a super, super no brainer. And the fact that like everybody wants to go somewhere at some point. You ask anybody like, "Ooh, if you can go anywhere right now and you're in the world and money wasn't an issue, where would you want to go?" Like what other product has that kind of response rate where everybody has a desire to go somewhere to do something? So, like, knowing what I know, like, if I'm going to travel, even if this was for myself or if there's family and friends, like, if I have the opportunity to do what I'm going to do anyway, but then I can also have a business side element of it and take advantage of the business advantages of it, like it's a simple no brainer. So you know, I think like part of what that says to me, as opposed to some of the other stuff that I've done in the past, like I was always gravitated towards stores stuff I would use, stuff I wanted, so that it didn't feel like it was a huge disconnect from you know how people saw me and represented me. So you know, for me, this made sense. A lot of people think that I'm never at home anyway, so it just I might as well go ahead and do that and enjoy the personal side of it too.
I love it. I love it. Wow. So, Kimberly, so you weren't afraid of the industry because you had already experienced and seen what success looks like. So, with the particular huge achievement that you just accomplished, listen, guys, according to the industry standards, the majority of the people, and I won't quote the statistic, but it's really up there. I think over 80% of the people that join a network marketing business do not add more than 2 or 3 people to their team. Okay, so that's why you don't want to get locked into the particular company you're with. You want to study the industry. So when you start beating yourself up because you just joined the business and people are not flocking to become business partners with you, when you understand the industry, you understand the norms and what it looks like to excel beyond the norms. So this superstar that we have on today, She and her team has recently reached a milestone that from day one, this has been my goal. And I'm going to tell you guys about my day one experience. But where she's at now is exactly where my goal is for this particular project. Not to say that my goals won't be stretched in the future, but this has been my goal for 6 years. She and her team has assembled the fortitude to actually assemble 500 families from around the country. And now she is a 3-star director within our company. Do you all know how? Listen, let me tell you what 500 people mean. During the housing crash, when the real estate market crashed, there were so many people losing their homes. And do you know, according to statistics, if those families would have had just an extra $500 a month coming in their household, they could have saved their home. So we're talking about families and communities here. Well, let's get beyond the company and the product and the type of business model. We're talking about real family lives here. So she and her team has literally pulled together and said, we about to help some people. And 500 families now have the ability to bring into their household residually. That don't mean putting their kids is in a child care, having somebody else watch their kids, but they can literally stay home from their home and generate an additional $500 in their home. See, we can't get so caught up in the multimillionaires and all of that, because at the end of the day, $500 extra coming in your household that you don't have to leave your house for can make a huge difference. So Kimberly, when did you just say, look, I'm about to help some people? And how was that process to get your business partners to see the vision to assemble 500 people?
Wow. So there's so much I want to say. We might need to do an hour today, but listen. So day one, I started sharing the information, because why would I keep it to myself? Right. Yeah. So there was no hesitancy at all. I mean, I was introduced to an opportunity, and why I love it so much is that it's an affordable investment.
Yes.
First of all, it's affordable and the overhead is low. So sharing it with others was not a problem. And then realizing that there was a guarantee for a profit your first year in the business, like that is safe.
Yes.
And so, I love sharing good information, period. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's for free. And the funny thing is, people share information all the time. It's just time to start getting paid for sharing.
Yes.
Yes.
Time all the time.
So, I think, and I love what you said, Carmen. It's really about studying the industry. So 6 years ago, I lost my job. I was a medical office manager for 24 years, you all. Brick and mortar. Overhead was like $65,000 a month, every single month. The overhead was stressful in and of itself,
yes.
Let alone employees. And, it was a family business, and family business never goes away. That's 24/7, 365. That's holidays, vacations. That's your entire life. So I really like to say I worked, instead of 24 years, 48 years, and I'm only 52.
Right. That's the math. Yeah.
So this industry is just super attractive. And I love what you said is you have to study the industry. And I needed this to work. I was stressed out, and there was no way I was going to work another 20 years as a medical office manager, because Dad was going strong. No sight of retirement in sight for him.
Yes.
And I was like, God, there is no way, I cannot. So, we were blessed to close down our family business, but I found myself unemployed with no retirement, starting life all over again. And I was, honestly, I had sworn off the industry in the past, but when it was travel, I thank God that it was travel. Because if it had been anything other than travel, I probably would have said, not today.
Yes.
But I knew I wanted to travel more, Imani. I knew that for a fact. And I thought it was going to be Groupon, but no. God had a full-blown travel business waiting for me with residual and leveraged income. And baby, there is nothing like it.
That's right.
I had to study the industry. You know, I had to study the numbers. I had to study, you know, the success rate and what you said. And on average is that in most companies, you know, people only sponsor 2 individuals in the life of their business or the life of their career.
Yeah.
And it was different over here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It was a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've just learned a lot about timing and positioning, the stages of a network marketing company. Just the fact that most people who join a company like this, Michael, they join just to save on their product. So if they join you in the business, right, Michael, if they join you in the business and they don't do anything, it's okay. That's normal.
That's
and
normal.
if you know that, then you're not worried about it.
That's right. That's right. No need for you to beat yourself up or feel lesser than or anything like that, because you're really right in alignment. But then you get those people like us. It gives you a huge opportunity to reinvent yourself. And I'm really super excited about my daughter Imani being a part of it, because when I tell you, I'm not trying to play when I say she's my baby genius. She gets shamed, but I'm getting a shirt made because I see all I wanted her to do was be able to catch it. My oldest daughter, Shamani, she is like my number one fan in whatever I do. She's not gonna dissect it. She like, if my mama doing it, I'm doing it. But she don't have the temperament nor the personality to build a business. But she will book her 50 million trips going back and forth to Vegas all day long. I'm like, whatever. You got to meet people where they're at. So that's her thing. So, Kimberly, it was one thing for you to get it, but how did you translate your passion, your understanding to your team? Because assembling a team of 500, trust and believe, that's a team effort. Ain't nobody doing that by themselves, right? So what was your leadership like? Because right now I have an organization a little over 150, but my goal is really within the next 12 months to be exactly where you're at. And I see the heavy lifting that's required. And I just know it has to be a team effort. I really want to help some people to see the vision. So what were some best practices to be able to grow your team, you know, from that 1-star to 3-star?
I think what people really have to realize about this industry is that you get paid really well for getting something started. And a lot of times you think, when you hear team, you think that everybody is working together and everybody is getting along and everybody likes everybody. Not so.
Wisdom.
So that being said, and I'll reiterate it, you get paid really well for getting something started. So I'm super strong in recruiting because I just love sharing information. I love living out loud because I really want to offer hope. Yes. So many people are stressed out, and they were stressed out before the pandemic.
That's right.
You know, 70% of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck before the pandemic.
Yes.
1 in 4 are not prepared for retirement. Maybe it's 3 out of 4, but people are not ready for retirement, evidenced by you seeing older people working at McDonald's and getting another job and, you know, wherever, right? Because Social Security is not cutting it. So there is a need. Whenever you can solve a problem, you can, you know, make a lot of money.
Yes.
And so, you know, it really, I cannot take the credit. I shared it with someone who shared it with someone who shared it with someone who decided, I need this because I'm tired of my job.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness.
And I want it for myself. I have been exposed to the evidence. I see people winning. And if they can do it, I can do it too. So everybody that you share it with is not going to catch on fire. But there will be some people that will. And when they do, they're going to take it and they're going to share it with someone who shares it with someone. And that's been my experience. So I'm not going to say that I am this dynamic leader and I am leading a team of 500. Let's be very transparent. We've had that conversation about transparency. Out of the 500 plus people on my team, I might know 50 of them.
Wow, that's powerful though.
But wait for this. I probably work closely with about 5 of them.
Wow.
But then if you look at the company at large and you see people talk about your core,
yes,
Mm-hmm.
then it starts to make sense.
it makes sense. You got to understand the industry.
You got to understand the industry. And I needed to understand the industry because if you don't understand it, you will feel defeated.
That's
and
right.
I don't have time to feel defeated, y'all.
No, no, we winning over here. Let that be known. So I got a question for Imani. Imani, she's been, she's totally plugged in to our morning call. She gets it at a high level. But let me tell you, I've seen some lights go off because Mr. Bradley came to Arizona. I've been in the company for 6 years. This is the first time I've ever known him. I was determined to get her in that room, and I could see something. And another good friend of mine, a business partner, she was like, "Girl, I was watching your daughter," and it was just something going on. She studies because she's a thinker. I'm a very reactionary, emotionally intelligent person, but I'm not necessarily a critical thinker. She got that from her dad. And because I'm not a critical thinker, I will feel something instinctively and go for it. Like sometimes that really jams me up, but other times it has blessed me. But
Me and Mike,
I feel you.
but so tell us, Imani, what were you thinking when you got a chance to hear from this visionary that created a company with his wife only 7 years ago? He grew that company to over 84,000 today. He's in over 21 countries. Like, what did it feel like for you to really be coached and mentored by him, Mr. Powell? What were you thinking? Because I've seen some shifts in you.
how many minutes? How much time do I have? Because I have a lot to
We
say.
have about 3 minutes.
Dang, you only giving me 3, Mike? Okay.
You know you can run over. You're a co-host. We got this.
Dang, I got a lot to say because I was taking notes as y'all was talking. A few things from that specific question.
Yeah.
It was so many moments that day in particular that reaffirmed for me, which I knew the day was going to create that experience for me, but not to the extreme that it did.
Yeah.
Not to the level that it did. It really was transformative for me in so many different ways. And I think it reframed my thinking around what success looks like. We grow up in a world where we don't see representation. We don't see what it looks like to be successful for our people. And sometimes transparent, like I feel like a lot of the success I've been exposed to, whether it was when I was in college or things like that, the Black excellence lens on success is this idea of like perfection and flashing. Yeah. You have to look a certain way or act a certain way to exist or show up as a successful individual. But these people were so down to earth and so open and so willing to share what they learned on their journey. The most impactful question I asked Mr. Powell was, "What's your morning routine?" Because I want to understand what successful people are doing in their day-to-day life, because they're clearly doing something not better but different. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they're better than any of us.
That's right.
Or they're better than the average person. They're just doing something different than the average person. And so when I understood that, I took my butt to the front row once Mr. Bradley got up to speak. I went to the front row and I really took my time and took notes based on the strategies and the things that he shared. Because any millionaire that will go out of their way to provide information I love the saying in the company is average person getting like extraordinary opportunity.
Average people getting access to extraordinary income.
Yeah, yes, I absolutely love that. And I'm all about community. Like my work stems from 10 years of experience in nonprofit work. So I'm all about bringing my community with me. And he has not left his community behind in the work that he's doing. And I'm so inspired by that. And so I'm going to try to drop a few more nuggets. I'm sorry if I go over time. But there's a few things that resonate with me as I'm listening to this call, and I just appreciate y'all as 3 people on this call that I look up to so much and value y'all perspectives and what y'all have been able to do for the communities y'all work within. I think is phenomenal. So for me, the three things that I'm always talk about in terms of Plan That, I don't care how new I am, even when I'm 10 years in the game from now, I still want to be focused on these three things. It's the personal development, the access, and the network. For me,
let me write that down. That's
like
good.
the personal development, you wouldn't catch me up before like 9 a.m. before I started with Plan That. I'm up early and I'm ready, regardless if I'm on track and reading the book that we're reading as a team, where regardless of if I'm super tired, like I'm halfway asleep, I'm going to log into the IMB and get what I need, because there's always some nugget or something in there that I can learn. Why not start my day with some insight from next level individuals who have taken an opportunity and changed their lives? Because that's something that I also want to do. The access, oh my goodness, don't get me started on that. I really, really love what I've had access to information, access to leadership, access to unlimited support and guidance, access to like conversations that I would have never been a part of. Like when you have access to rooms like that, you can't unsee that information. You can't unsee the experiences you had. And just a glimpse into the day where I got a chance to meet these amazing individuals. Like we went to rent a car, and the only car they had available was my dream car. And so that day, riding around in that vehicle and experiencing the wealth of knowledge in a room full of people that look like me changed my life forever. And I'm telling you, from that moment forward, I didn't engage in this company the same. I may not be at my highest potential building wise, but I knew that the personal development was going to be a first step for me. And then the network, it goes along with that access piece. Like I just feel like I have a lifelong network of amazing people who truly believe in themselves and believe in me and what I can do in this world, especially thinking about my peers and the impact that we can make by having the support and the guidance from you all is just amazing. The last thing, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I'm so excited about this topic, and I appreciate y'all. I keep saying that, I can't say that enough, because I used to be on the calls or overhear my mom and they say, thank the person who invited you to this opportunity or this call. And I never understood that until like now. I'm like thanking all of y'all, whether y'all were the one who directly told me about it or not, but just showing up as the evidence is what I'm appreciative of. So the last thing I'm gonna say, I was listening to a podcast earlier, Social Proof, shout out to them, amazing podcast. And Donnie Wiggins talked about, and they have both experience in network marketing, and they talked about getting more than a paycheck from your job. And that resonated with me so much, and even more so in this call, because sometimes people will join this opportunity for the paycheck, for the numbers, but understanding how to get more than that from this opportunity, whether it's this one or any other network marketing opportunity, being able to come into it with the perspective of what value am I adding to this space, and what value am I getting from this space? Because she talked about in a job, they're going to get everything possible they can out of you while you're there. But you make sure you don't leave every day not getting something from that, whether that's a new experience, a new opportunity, learning a new skill. Make sure you do everything you possibly can. And that's how I feel about this opportunity for me. I'm taking every personal development opportunity, every event I'm qualified to attend. I'm really, really on that energy all this year of getting absolutely everything that I can from it, because why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? And I know, like, listening to your story, Kimberly, is very inspiring, because I have a lot of days of discouragement. Like, dang, like I'm not building the way I want to. I'm not studying the information enough the way I want to be able to educate and teach people what it is that I'm offering to them. You know what I'm saying? And do that with confidence. It takes some work and doing your part. And so for me, I'm really inspired by hearing from y'all today, and it is showing me the value of doing our part to really show up for this opportunity and show it to other people and make an impact on the lives of so many other people.
Yes. Yes, that is so good.
The
You got the
world.
comments crazy over here, Imani.
No,
I wasn't even paying attention. I just was I was writing notes the whole time. I'm like, I gotta get this out. Just let me say all the points that I
now I gotta get my points out, Imani. Like I gotta take 3. But listen, I know it's about time. But Imani, the world better watch out for you, girl.
Yeah.
Because you are already a boss.
Yeah.
So I don't know what more personal development needs to be done. Let your light shine. And the fact that you are in this industry at your age, it blesses my soul.
Yes.
I'm not certain if you're, how old are you, Imani?
26.
26. Listen, I have some 22-year-olds on my team, and I'm just like, ooh, baby, your life is going to look totally different.
Yes.
And I am just grateful to be an inspiration for this industry. Grateful for the opportunity to inspire and educate people about the legitimacy of this industry.
Yes.
Because I was reading earlier today, because a lot of people say millionaires are made in this industry, but it said most women who become millionaires do so in the industry of network marketing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is it.
Yeah.
We're with the right company.
Yes, that's for sure.
We have the right product.
Yes.
And it's just our time.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Mike, I have 10 things I want to share with people, just a quick list, because I want to give you guys something to really internalize and think, how does this apply to you? But before I share my things, I want to give you an opportunity to kind of give feedback on what Imani shared, Mike, or anything else you may want to share.
No, I'm like Kimberly said, or it was Kimberly or somebody in the comments. They were like, this is such a motivation, because one of the things that, for me, I always struggle with the whole thing. It was just like, I don't have time, so my initial motivation was really for personal gain, because I'm traveling and I want to take advantage of that. I know how it works and all that other stuff. But now I'm kind of getting to the point, especially after kind of hearing the other stories. I loved how like Kimberly had her story, and about thinking about the people's lives that she's sharing it with is impacting and changed. The fact that people are losing homes over because they didn't have an extra $500 a month.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now I feel like I'm being selfish. Now I feel like I'm being selfish, but this is what this episode is about. Because it's like, yeah, I'm not one of the people who are earning a bunch of money. I'm not building a team, because that wasn't my initial motivation. But I have the flexibility at any point to choose. Now I want to make this a priority. And I think after having this conversation and kind of hearing everybody's different perspective on it, which is why we wanted to have this talk, it's just like, it does make me see it in a different way. You can get out of it what you need, but you have to decide to commit and to get involved. So like that is there for you when you're ready to do it. So, if you're not motivated by the money, like I'm not motivated by the rings, I could care. I've never worn a ring in my life. That don't do it for me. And sometimes when people will come bring stuff to me and they're like, look at this, I'm like, I could care less about that. I'll probably sell that mug when I get it. The fact that it can change people's lives and it's an opportunity that is affordable is something that most people understand, because most people do it. Like, all those are really, really strong reasons for me. So I'm going to not be so selfish, more, and let y'all know, what I found some value in, and then you can find some value in it for yourself. But I'm glad we had this conversation, and I love the fact that, Imani's able to see all that stuff. I was never at that point of thinking about all the different stuff from that aspect of it. But this is just good that we have all these different perspectives and ways to view it. Kimberly reaching all those families and helping all those families by just closely working with 5 people. Like,
right. Yes. I love that. I love that so much. And one of the things that I learned when I went to 6-figure school some years ago, Mr. Bradley offered in Atlanta 6-figure school, and I made my way there. And it was an aha moment for me when he said that retirement is about income and not about age. I was like, Wow. So I could really start preparing my kids for retirement. They do not have to, wait and work anybody's job that they don't want to, unless it's something that they want to do. But it's truly about options. So what I want to just share with you guys, sometimes the network marketing in this company, people are asking you to do a lot of things, but we're not doing a good job as leaders explaining why. So that's kind of what I want to share with you all when I leave you with these 10 tips. Why was I failing initially in network marketing? Because I'm clearly winning now because of of the people that I've decided to connect myself with. And it's up to you to determine if you're winning. You set your own standard. So I knew clearly that what Kimberly's goal of 3-star director, why that was my goal 6 years ago, because I was at a convention and I sat at a table with 6-figure income earners. And so they said, "You have any questions?" I'm not gonna ever sit at the table with people that's at a level I'm trying to get to and not have questions. I said, absolutely. I had a whole list. I said, first of all, what is the roadmap for me to get to 6 figures? I just need to know the roadmap. What does that look like? And the person said, based on average, you need, because I just want the sapphire ring because that's my birth month and it's blue. So, I got my reasons. And so, blue had to come in. So I simply said, what does it look like? She said, you need to be 3-star and you can get 6 figures about a good 18 to 24 months of reaching a 3-star director. So since day one, I knew that my goal was to earn 100,000 residually and on a part-time basis. So that's not to say that I'm not going to be generating income from other things, but see, I look at those $250,000 earners. I look at those $500,000 earners, and at this stage in my life, I'm not going to be jumping around going city to city, state to state. The level of service that they do for this community, like, we can't just look at other people's income and see if we can get access to that income without doing the work. I only want to do sapphire ring amount of work. So that's what helped me. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go to that conference and sit and have them map it out for me, show me what that looks like. So when people are saying, go to convention, go to this, go to that, it's the reason why, because you're going to get access on a very intimate level of information that you did not have regular access to. Because it's one thing to be presented with information. It's another thing to be able to have dialogue about information. I was able to ask questions and all of that. So here's the 10 things. The reason why I was not succeeding before is because I was inconsistent. For 6 years, I have been listening to the IMB faithfully every morning, because what I understood is the lessons that they were giving there. I listened to someone talk about they were up for a next rank and somebody got upset and pulled 400 people from their team. About 6 or 7 months from that, somebody did that to me and they only pulled 30, but it crippled me and made me lose my rank. And if I had not heard on that IMV about the 400 people or somebody, I would have been over. I would have been out the company mad. But because I heard that story, I'm like, well, if they took 400, that person bounced back is good. So then I didn't get stuck on that situation. I didn't take it so personal because I understood that this happens. This is a part of the beast. This is how it works. And I was able to bounce back from that. And then you have to spend more time on nurturing your why. I need to spend time looking at, like, how the blue sapphire ring gonna look on my finger. How is it gonna feel to have 6 figures residually? How is my budget gonna look different? Who am I gonna be able to bless with that? How is my lifestyle? See, we put these numbers out there, but we don't get emotionally attached. You got to get emotionally attached to why you're doing this and what does your goal look like. And what is that going to do for your team? How many people are you going to inspire because they seen you go and get it from the ground? Nobody gave you anything, that you work with your team and you got it from the ground. That's going to inspire so many people to do more. Then we become people dependent instead of system dependent. There is a system. This ain't the time to get cute and fancy. Follow the system. Master the things that the leaders, Eric Worre, all of these giants that's been in network marketing and mastered it for years, become system dependent so you don't have to be people dependent. And then value your personal development. Personal development should be a priority. We certainly did not get enough of it in our traditional education. So sometimes as adults, we can have multiple degrees and be very under personally developed. So you want to make sure that you know what that is and make it a priority. And then overthinking. We just don't need to be overthinking $200 is hard. Like we don't need to be going to get a bunch of people to agree with us. We don't need, it's $200 at the end of the day. When people say, I got to think about it. Well, let me see. I'm like, ooh, for $200? And you know how quick we can spend $200 and just trick it off. Like, don't overthink a $200 investment. And then know that at the end of the day, if you do take a loss, what $200 should not paralyze you to that degree, okay? And then evaluating your risks. When you're selecting a network marketing company, evaluate your risks and don't overthink it. I was part of a network marketing company and the person lost their business. What did that mean? I think, what did I pay when I joined at that time? Maybe $500. Her business failed. I still love the product. She went and rebranded herself. She went into another company. I still love her, love the product. Like, quit thinking this. Like, you start getting these messages about it's a scam. So you gonna just lose your mind because $500, like, so what? I don't care about that. I still support that person. And sometimes because network marketing companies fail within those first couple years, at the end of the day, that don't mean that you fail. That don't mean that you fail. And if you were building the correct relationships, if you decide to do something else, those people that you had a relationship with gonna come with you in whatever else you decide to do. So don't underestimate the power of building those relationships. So that was my next thing, maximize relationships. Imani talked about never missing an event that you qualify to attend. You will not be able to go to any and everything. I know clearly almost at the beginning of the year what I'm going to, what I'm not going to. As my levels and my income increase, I'm going to continue to add those things to my list. So never miss an event that you qualify to attend. They're saying that for a reason. It's very true. And then we talked about this, Kimberly, learn the industry. Go beyond the company that you work for so that you can fully understand the industry. It's going to give you a greater level of appreciation for the company that you're attached to. Well, we got it out, y'all. We went a little over time. But this was so much fun. And Kimberly, congratulations again. Listen, guys, if you're listening live or you listen on a replay, we're building something here. If you're listening and you're from Kimberly's network, we want you to reach out to her and let her know that you want to build something with her, okay? We know Kimberly and I are not financially attached at all. We're what they call sideline partners, but we are true sisters in success. We're building something together in multiple ways. So listen, if you want to really, really build something, and you're part of her network, you're in that Charlotte, North Carolina area or wherever, because we are in multiple countries. Listen, if you know Kimberly, we want you to reach out to Kimberly. If you are a young professional or a young creative and you want to be on the ground floor of something that's going to be amazing, I want you to reach out to my daughter, Imani Ray, because I promise y'all, you don't want to wait because she is getting ready to. All I can say, young folks, y'all want to be a part of this. If you are a woman entrepreneur, then you have a built-in network already. You're already hosting retreats and events and all of that kind of stuff, and you're listening on my Facebook Live, I want you to reach out to me. This will clearly be one of your $200 best investments you ever seen, because we have so much to offer in our organization that you just will be amazed at what you're going to have access to. So I'm only personally working with people that already have networks, because I'm building at a rapid pace. And so I have other business partners that if you're not quite there, that I can connect you with. But if you already have an intact network, let's go, and you contact me. And then, Mike, who should be contacting you? Who is your ideal business partner?
You know what? If you the person like me who think you don't have time to do this, you can in your lifestyle, you can holler at me. I'll talk to you about that.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much, Mike. I sure appreciate you putting this all together for us. I had so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us today. You have anything in closing before we close out?
We are at the right place at the right time, and we need to really take advantage of it. The thing that just blows my entire mind is to hear Mr. Bradley say in the room of 3 millionaires that no one has made any money yet.
Yes.
How do you wrap your mind around that?
Yeah.
So we found it, and it's just time to go to work. It's time to go to work. This has been fun, and it's supposed to be fun.
That's right. That's right. I had a ball with you all. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week on Talk It Up Tuesday. As you know, time zones are about to change, and we are still going to be at 4:30 Mountain Standard Time because we don't change time here in Arizona. Right. Y'all do all that stuff y'all got to do, but we still showing up at our 4:30. So do the math. I think for Central Time, it's going to be 6:30 your time. If you're on the East Coast, it's going to be 7:30 your time. And I think California is going to be caught up to us, so we'll all be on the same. Make sure you like and make sure you subscribe wherever you're watching. Again, if you have any questions, comment down below. We will definitely monitor the comments and be more than happy to get back in touch with you. So thank you for joining us for Talking Up Tuesday, and have a good evening.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.